Feminism wants you. It wants you to think that it's your friend, but it's not. At first it will come on really sweet. It'll tell you that patriarchy hurts men too.
Feminists do not want you to lose custody of your children. The assumption that women are naturally better caregivers is part of patriarchy.
All you have to believe is what you already do, that women are as fully human as you are and deserve a fair shake in life. It's an offer you can't refuse. But feminism lies, because that's not all it really asks of you.
I want to start by asking a question. If feminism is a movement for equality, why do we not see equal representation of both genders' issues? And why do we not see feminists complaining about benefits that women have over men in certain situations?
This is Jill. This is Jack. He is 25% less likely to graduate college. Studies suggest he is just as likely to experience domestic violence or rape, but he receives almost no support as a victim.
County, West Virginia?
Yes.
And were you at the time that you filed this petition?
Yes.
You were formerly married to Eric T. Pruitt, is that correct?
Yes.
And you all were divorced here in Pleasant County, West Virginia, is that correct?
Yes.
And you all have one child together, that's Noah?
Yes.
And Noah was born June 15, 2009, is now almost 2 years old,
yes.
Right? Do you know where your husband lives? Or ex-husband, I should say.
No, I do not.
Okay. Now, you have filed this petition alleging that something occurred on or about April 20th, 2011, and then continued. Is that correct?
Yes. After he found out he missed the hearing.
Can you tell me, in your own words, what happened?
Well, he found out he missed the modification hearing and called me and blamed me and was irate. Showed up at my house that following Sunday.
Well, let me get dates here if I can.
Yeah, I have.
Let me see, I have a calendar here in front of me.
I have everything written down too.
I'm aware that you all had a hearing set on May 17th, but this occurred all before May 17th.
Right.
Is that correct?
May 17th, because it was set in front of, I think, Brian Dempster?
Judge Dempster.
Yes, and he couldn't hear it because there was a pending case in front of you, so he continued it to the 17th, and then I had to continue it due to work. We had the hearing on the 19th, so it would have been that Sunday after the 19th. I'm not finding the date. He came to my house. My mom was there. The door was locked. We didn't let him in because he had texted me first and said he was in the food giant parking lot, and I said, I didn't want him in my home because every time he comes there, it's a big fight, and we have to threaten to call the cops to get him to leave. So we didn't let him in, and then he left. And then my mom left, and a few hours later, I went to take my trash out, and I found like a toy laying on my doorstep. So he had been back in my building, and has, after that, continued to harass me through text messages, voicemails, emails. He also, around that time, was placed in Valley Mental Health in Morgantown. And at that time, I'd received a call. He was talking about being suicidal. If I didn't let him see Noah, he was going to cut off his hand. And this was all in front of his treatment team. They had him on speakerphone, and I ended up having to hang up on him because it was just not something I wanted to listen to. And just things like that had continued, and I was really afraid that he might show up and do something because of his mental instability, and just, you know, I never know where he is, and, you know, he could just show up at any time, and I live alone with my child. So my mom talked me into coming to the magistrate and talking. Well, I called Family Crisis Intervention before that, and I told them what had been going on, and they suggested I come here. So my mom came with me to the magistrate, and they decided that yes, I should. You know, I was eligible for the protective order. He did continue to contact me that weekend after the order was in place. However, I don't think he had been served, and I just ignored his phone calls. I think once he was served, he stopped contacting me. And I've been in contact with his mother because I still talk to her, and she, you know, visits with Noah and things like that. And she has not heard from him recently. However, she's afraid to even let her in her home, because last time he was there, he, you know, said he wished she would just die and how she was an evil mother, and he was saying this in front of Noah. So she won't even allow him in her home. I think she had to threaten to call the cops that time too to get him to leave. And he has a history of crimes, violent crimes, robbery, theft. All this I found out after we were married, which scares me. There was also a case where it was interference with child custody. I'm not sure what that means, but that concerned me as well. He's so used to living underground that I'm just afraid he's going to take Noah and disappear. Or, you know, feel like he can do anything to me and not get in trouble for it. And I had been saving the phone messages. I have some of the text messages saved, but my phone only saves them for so long. And my mom was going to call AT&T to get copies of everything, but my brother had an accident at work, second-degree burns, and he had to be sent to the burn unit in Huntington. So we've been dealing with that family crisis the past couple of weeks, and I just haven't had a chance to get everything from AT&T, but I can if I need to.
April 26th,
that's when he was put in the mental health. He went to Ruby.
But after that, he showed up on a Sunday then? Is that what you're saying?
It was the Sunday before that.
Okay. Sunday, so it'd been the 24th.
Yeah. And then I think, that Wednesday or Thursday, I got a call from him saying, I'm living in my van in the Walmart parking lot. You and all your friends can laugh at me now. And then the next message I got was he was at the Ruby ER having panic attacks and was on suicide watch, and I guess they transported him to Valley Healthcare. And I talked to him while he was there, and I tried to get him to let me, or like sign something for me to talk to his treatment team, because I didn't feel he was being honest about his mental health, and I think he needs treatment for his mental health. And he stayed there for a few days, and I forget what medication they said they put him on, but it was not a bipolar medication. And his mother, I know, tried to get him to go back there because she didn't feel that he finished, didn't think he followed up like he was supposed to. And he was being very manic, I guess, at the time, and calling constantly.
And homeless.
Men make up 80% of suicide victims, 92% of workplace deaths, 97% of combat deaths, and 77% of homicide victims.
If these statistics applied to Jill, we would say they were evidence of Jill's oppression by Jack.
Men are objectified, men are raped, men are mistreated, just like women. Yet feminists continue to place this blanket judgment over all men that they are all privileged, and all women that they are all oppressed.
Feminism is damaging the relationship between men and women.
Feminism in one word, degrading,
obnoxious,
belittlement,
narcissistic,
insatiable,
dishonest,
childish,
misinformation,
hypocrisy.
I know it's a bit cliche, but hate.
Feminism is nothing if not malleable.
Feminism is injustice.
Feminism tells men they are bad for being male, that men should show their emotions more, but if they do, they should quit crying their male tears.
Go down to the gravesite.
That men sitting with their legs spread on a train is sexist, but telling men they can't come to an equality meeting is not. Feminism tells people that love is just sexism, and that a family is just a burden, and that anyone who says otherwise is just a misogynist.
If men don't have to be aggressive in order to be accepted, women won't feel compelled to be submissive. If men don't have to control, women won't have to be controlled.
It is hard to read an article like this and avoid the conclusion that we live in a culture that hates women. Just